Right. You know what I want is I want to start a media-based project. Right. Basically, the idea is centers around livestock, adult education. Right. So it will be more like discussions, different discussions, documentaries, centered on livestock and obviously educational aspects.
Okay.
So basically what I want to be doing is if maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour programs, right, productions, right, centered around the subject of livestock. And I've got a tentative name, I want to call it Livestock Matters, where on one hand I may be talking about technical aspects of livestock production. Then on the other hand, I may also be talking about policy issues around livestock. For example, asking different policymakers on the state of the livestock sector in the country, how the authorities are planning to boost the industry, down to the smallest farmer's problem, tick-borne diseases, issues of pen fattening, for example, right? Issues of businesses, how livestock farmers can make their businesses more profitable to them. I think those are very important aspects which are hardly talked about. So it will be like a specialist kind of program. But the idea is, you ask me, how am I going to finance it? In other words, how am I going to make money? Because obviously this is an entrepreneurial idea.
Okay.
And how I'm going to make money now is, I will tell you.
Right. And how do you how do you believe this will be of assistance, or this will touch on the hearts and minds of those who are in the low-income earning sector, and those who are in the rural areas, who mix and mingle and who deal with these livestock on day-to-day basis?
Being a professional adult educator, obviously, principles of adult education, principles of programming will have to kick in. And basically, we are looking at a needs assessment of some sort. That's the most important thing.
Okay.
You go down there, you ask them, what are your problems as far as livestock is concerned? What are your problems? And of course, me also being a trained person in that sector, I can also use my technical background to see some of their shortcomings. And then kind of, so this is more like a problem-solving program, right? Where we identify the problems, we talk to the farmers, their perceived needs, and the actual needs that I also, decide on myself, that I define myself. Being a person also who has worked in the veterinary department. Also my background, I come from a peasant family, and these problems, they are like generic. What you find in Mashingo is probably the same kind of problem that you found in Mount Darwin, especially if you're talking of people of low income, low or resource poor. If you're talking of resource poor farmers, problems in Magunje are probably the same as in Chimanimani, the same as in Mashingo, So I'll be looking at a program which kind of answers their questions. And obviously the other important issues on information, I do believe that the information is there in libraries, in experts, in people. But then the idea is that information has to be packaged. That's the most important thing. It has to be packaged, and then it has to be transmitted, timelessly.
Okay.
Right.
There's something that I noted, something that I picked in your statements. You talked about experts, and you talked about information being packaged. What do you have in mind so that you also get the assistance of the experts, especially in this field of livestock rearing or livestock production. And how are you going to package your information, since it is very important according to my own assertions and assessment? It is very, very important. How are we going to attract these so-called experts, and how are you going to package this program?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think the first part of the question, how am I going to attract the experts?
Yes.
To begin with, obviously, I will use my own personal contacts, right? And also my powers of persuasion. I've got considerable powers of persuasion.
Okay.
That's the first part. And then I think later on, when the program is kind of taken root, actually I'm envisaging a situation. I'm looking at a situation where the experts will actually be looking for me.
All right.
Because it will be affording them a national audience, right? And also thereby, names get, a person can get to make their own names there separately, quite apart from the fact that we are doing something for farmers. We get stars. Stars are born from, from media projects.
All right.
So that's the first part. The second part, what did you say?
I was talking about packaging.
Okay, all right. Packaging of the information in the project. I think it depends on one, professionalism, two, knowledge, and all the professionalism aspects. I'm actually working with a professional producer as part of the project. We've discussed a few things. So I may be a novice in production and the nitty-gritties of production, But all the aspects of the packaging, the actual packaging of the information, the actual editing of the information, and I think I can do that. I can be the expert of that. I'm an adult educator, but I also have a background in livestock matters. So that aspect, I'm not too worried. I'm actually comfortable with that.
All right.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. Let me draw you back again to your field of practice, and I believe that you talked about this being an entrepreneurship project. Do you really have a specific area that you are going to be looking at, or specific people or region that you're going to be working with? Because as we all know, we've got 5 regions in Zimbabwe, and region by region, they have got their own problems that are unique to their area. Do you have a specific region that you're going to be looking at, or you're going to be doing this project wholesomely? And if so, what are the problems that you are likely to face, especially when doing the project from a wide perspective?
I think to begin with, we want to avoid being over-ambitious.
Yes.
Obviously, we'll start tackling problems maybe which are also geography or problems found in areas that are geographically accessible. Right now I'm based in Harare, so obviously I wouldn't dream of doing something in Wenes there because of the prohibitive transport, logistics and everything. So probably I'll start off with, say, farmers' problems in Obosha, right? And then as the project and the program takes root, what I'm envisaging is I'll be having partners coming in, because what happens is with a media project, if it is popular, right? If it is popular, when it commands a faithful viewership, what happens is that interested parties, for example, we're talking of seed companies, for example, we're talking of feed manufacturing companies, we're talking of banks, these kinds of the people who have got a stake in agriculture, they will start to take notice, and they would want to be part and parcel, of that project. For example, through adverts or through sponsorship deals and things like that. So, for example, if we're talking of pen fattening, right? We talk of pen fattening, and then we invite a person from National Foods to say, okay, come and explain to the farmers, right, the kind of feed that we have. So, if a person from National Foods comes in, right? We're giving him free airtime, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And obviously they will have to sponsor some part of the production costs. And then some guy from agri-food sees it and says, wow, that's a nice platform. The other guy from profit sees it and says, wow, what a nice platform. So ultimately we are looking at a situation where the project begins now to make money, right? And then where the project begins to make money, we can look at expanding our reach, geographical reach, so that at least we can reach all corners of the country. But initially, we just want to start with we don't want to buy it more than what we can chew. Just want to start with something that is manageable.
Okay. All right. No, thank you very much, Mr. Magwiroto. But maybe last but not least, do you have a specific breed that you're going to be working with, or you're just going to be dealing with all kinds of livestock?
The original concept is we're going to deal with all kinds of livestock, from the biggest, which is cattle production, to the smallest, which can be chihuahua, But obviously, I'm sure there will be a focus, we'll be focusing on significant things. For example, poultry in Zimbabwe, beef in Zimbabwe,
Piggery,
some bit of rabbits. So we'll just it will be dependent mostly on what people out there, what we find in our research, in our needs assessments. If we see that this area people are really if people really have interest in certain kind of stock, then that's the one that we concentrate on.
Okay. All right. No, thank you very much, Ms. Magwiroto. I can see that you are dreaming big, and I hope your dream comes to fruition, and I hope that everything that you are aspiring for will be met and will come right into your hands, and your dreams will come true. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir.